Hey guys, welcome to Jack's Beautiful You. My name is Jackie, and on this channel we mostly talk about perfumes. In today's video, I'm super excited because we're going to be talking about some warm floral fragrances for the cold weather. So I know right now everybody is talking about gourmands. Everybody's talking about spicy and caramel and sweet and all those wonderful fragrances that I personally love this time of year, fall and winter. I'm a gourmand lover. I'm here for it. I'm not complaining, okay? But what about the people who don't really like gourmands? What about the people who want floral fragrances all year round and they want something that is going to be floral and cut through the cold? Well, I've got you covered today. We're going to talk about some of my favorite floral fragrances that I love to wear in cold weather. So if you're interested in seeing what those are, then just keep on watching. All right, one of my very favorite fragrances that is very floral that I love to wear in the cold weather months is by Amouage Lilac Love. This fragrance is such a unique and interesting fragrance. I really have never smelled anything like it. This was a blind buy for me. I blind bought this, which was incredibly, some people might call it brave. Some people might call it another word. It was definitely risky. Let's just call it that. And it worked out for me though. It did. I would not say Amouage is a house that I would recommend blind buying from, but this one really did work out for me. So I'm not even really the biggest purple floral fan, specifically violet I can sometimes struggle with. However, I really do like the florals that are in here. So there's lots of florals. There's heliotrope and lilac, which are the two main florals that I smell in here. There's also gardenia, jasmine, peony, rose. I wouldn't really say those are the star of the show. For me, it's mostly lilac and heliotrope. This is powdery for sure. It's so good. I love the smell of lilacs. I think this just captures lilacs perfectly. And then in the mid, you have cacao, tonka bean, and orris. And there's definitely cacao in here, but I would not consider this a gourmand per se. This has a chocolate feel to it, but the florals, the lilac is the star of the show. The chocolate in here is just this richness in the base that helps to I don't know, give this fragrance some uniqueness, but it really is too much in the hot weather for me. So for me, this is a cold weather floral fragrance. And then there's lots of vanilla, sandalwood, and patchouli in the base. I do pick up a little bit of the patchouli, but it's not much. But I do really get a lot of the vanilla and the sandalwood in the dry down for sure. This is so unique and so beautiful. This is not safe. I would highly recommend that you try this one before you buy. But I will say the performance is really good, and for those of us who love this fragrance, we really love it. That is by Amouage Lilac Love. All right, up next we have an extremely opulent and rich and luxurious smelling fragrance for fall and winter. Specifically, this one reminds me of winter. It's just so rich and opulent, and I really enjoy this one in cold weather. So this is by Banina, and this is Royal Bouquet. This fragrance is osmanthus and orange blossom. I definitely get orange blossom in here for sure. There's honeysuckle, and I definitely get the rose in here. There's Turkish rose. This has some pink pepper in the opening, so it has just a little kick. And then the dry down of this is vanilla and musk. The vanilla is thick and rich in this fragrance, and the florals don't smell. You know, usually when I see orange blossom, honeysuckle, Turkish rose, I think more of springtime, but this is not a springtime scent. Everything in here is just so thick. This is a thick fragrance, and I can only wear it in cold weather. It's strong, it's really good performance, and it just smells so opulent. This is by Benigna Royal Bouquet. All right, those were two pretty expensive fragrances, so let's switch gears and talk about a more affordable fragrance. This is by Afnan, and this is 9 p.m. Pour Femme. And this one is a woody, fruity, floral that has some depth to it. There's more to it than just it's not just a fruity floral. It definitely has some density to the fragrance. So there's raspberry, violet, apple, orange, definitely some fruitiness going on in the opening. And then the florals in here are rose, iris, peony, and jasmine. The base, you have pine, cypress, amber, and cedar. It is definitely a very warm, ambery, woody, fruity floral, which is why I think this would be such a great fragrance for cold weather. I'm looking forward to wearing this one. I kind of get a little bit of an atomic rose feel from this fragrance if you made it a lot sweeter and then added in some iris. It's a strong performing fragrance. Again, I wouldn't be able to wear this even though it is a fruity floral. I couldn't wear this in the spring and summer. This is a cold weather fragrance, and the price is pretty good on this as well. So if you're looking for an affordable option, this is a great one. This is by Afnan, 9 p.m. Pour Femme. All right, this next one is also an ambery, warm, fruity floral fragrance, but it is very ambery warm, and this is definitely one I have to wear in cold weather. I can't get away with this in hot weather at all. This is by the House of Argos, and this is Pallas Athene. This fragrance is a berry. I get a lot of the red berries in here. That's what I get in the opening, which you would think spring. When I think of red berries, I think of spring. Opening, you have red berries, bergamot, grapefruit, pink pepper, all kind of springtime. You kind of get that feeling in the opening. It's kind of a bright, juicy, it's got a citrusy brightness with some red, juicy berries, which gives it a sweetness that I really enjoy. And then the florals in here, you have peony, rose, blue, hyacinth, violet, and iris. So again, we're still in that like springtime feel to the fragrance, but in the dry down, you get amber, vanilla, sandalwood, patchouli, and vetiver. And there's just a lot of amber. That's what it boils down to. This fragrance, I mean, look at the juice. Look at the color of the juice, how rich and opulent it looks. That's how it smells. And the amber is just so strong. I feel like warm ambery fragrances are just so difficult for me to wear in the hot weather. So if you like a really warm, ambery, complex fruity floral, this is not just your basic average fruity floral scent. This is something else for sure. I love the composition of this. I think this smells amazing. This has absolutely wonderful performance on me, strong enough to cut through the cold, and it just has a warmth and richness to it that I really, really love in the cold weather. So that is by Argos Palace AE. All right, up next we have by Dolce Gabbana, this is Devotion Intense. Now, this fragrance, some people would say is kind of gourmand, but I don't find Devotion, the OG Devotion or Devotion Intense to be overly gourmand. Some people think it's more like a lemon gourmandish kind of scent, and I do get that a little bit, but I do pick up a lot of the orange blossom in the OG Devotion and in Devotion Intense. So you have hazelnut, orange blossom, and vanilla in this fragrance. Definitely, if you're an orange blossom fan, check this one out. I really prefer the OG, but this one has a hazelnut note, which I really do enjoy as well. I don't really get nutty per se, but I do get this like creaminess to the fragrance that I don't get in the OG that makes this feel more of a fall winter fragrance. I've been wearing this in the month of October, and it does seem to have pretty decent performance. So I think it's strong enough to cut through the cold. And yeah, I think if you're a orange blossom lover and you don't mind a little bit of a gourmand touch, you want a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of a creamy hazelnut, this would be a good one for those of you who like gourmands, but you don't want a full-on gourmand and you still want some florals, specifically orange blossom, in your fragrances. So this is really, really good. I really do like this one. And I think that it's a really good release from the house. I think it is different enough from the OG. I might get a full bottle of this because I do like it. Like I said, I do prefer the OG, but this one's really growing on me a lot. So I like the creaminess too, the fragrance. So this is by Dolce & Gabbana Devotion Intense. All right, up next, we have a fragrance that I am super excited to wear. This is definitely a cold weather fragrance for me. And this is by Tiziana Terenzi Delox. This is the only Tiziana Terenzi I own because I don't find this one to have that really, really harsh musk that they have normally. This doesn't have that, and I am so excited for it. I love this fragrance. This is a rose fragrance, mostly for me. I get a lot of the rose in here. And it's like a sweet, jammy rose. Yes, I love this. But there's more than just rose in here. So the florals are white hyacinth, iris, and Turkish rose. But mostly I get rose. This also has coffee, which I really, really like, but it's not over the top. The coffee is just kind of there in the background. It's not harsh, bitter black coffee in your face. I like the combination of the rose and the coffee with the vanilla, and then there's also honey, which I do pick up on. There's a slight touch of honey. This is a sweet fragrance, but this is definitely not a gourmand. This is mostly a rose fragrance, rose coffee fragrance with a slight touch of honey. Yes. And then there's white musk, which I really don't, like I said, I don't pick up a ton of musk in this fragrance. And then there's amber and cedar, which I do pick up on. It is very warm, warm, ambery, definitely cold weather fragrance with a touch of a woodiness in the base. This is so good. And this is beast mode performance. This will absolutely cut through the cold. And this is also a compliment getter. And it's just fantastic. I know there's a lot of fragrances with this scent profile, but this one is the one that really, that rosy coffee combo, this is the one that I prefer out of all the ones I've tried, and I just enjoy this one so much. I cannot wait to wear it. I'm going to wait until it gets a lot colder before I pull this one out. It's not, the weather's not here yet, but I'm excited for this one. I need it to be just a little colder, but soon I will be wearing Delox. So that is Tiziana Terenzi Delox. All right, up next we have by YSL. This is Libre Intense, and this is my favorite Libre. I have tried the others and I do like some of the other flankers for sure, but this one is my favorite. I think it's mostly because this one feels the richest to me. It feels super, super rich and opulent. This is a boss babe scent. You are large and in charge, and you're the boss when you wear this fragrance. Plus, I love these bottles. I think these YSL bottles are so, so pretty. But anyway, I think this is an opulent, rich, super cold weather only fragrance. This is so strong. This is another perfume that is just absolute beast mode. There's tons and tons and tons of vanilla in the intense version, which I love because it rounds the fragrance out and it keeps it from being too aromatic. The lavender in here is still there, but it's smooth. It's not as aromatic as in the original. Yes, I love this one. This is so good. So there's lavender, mandarin orange, and bergamot in the opening. There's more lavender, definitely orange blossom, definitely jasmine. I do pick up white florals in here, absolutely for sure. There's also an orchid note in here, I believe, and then there's tons and tons of vanilla and tonka bean and some ambergris and vetiver. I don't really pick up ambergris. If you like lots of vanilla with your white florals, then this is definitely one to check out. If you want something super strong and if you want something that says, I have my life together, I know what I'm doing, this is definitely that's what it speaks to me anyway, for sure. So that is by YSL Libre Intense. I've been talking about this one a lot lately, so I'll be brief, but I had to mention it in here because this is one of my favorite cold weather florals. This is by Viktor and Rolf Flowerbomb Nectar. This is so underrated and so unique. It smells like Flowerbomb a little bit. It has the Flowerbomb DNA in here for sure, but with some tweaks and some twists. Mostly the opening has gunpowder in the opening, which is super, super unique and just changes the entire composition of the fragrance. It just makes it a unique fragrance. This is such a sexy, sweet, feminine fragrance. It just smells so good to me. Super strong performance, definitely strong enough to cut through the cold, and very, very sweet. So you do have to be into sweet fragrances. But if you like Flowerbomb and you wanted something stronger and a little bit more unique and a little bit sweeter, then check this one out. This is definitely my favorite flanker of all the Flowerbombs that I've tried, and I don't understand why people don't talk about this one more, because I just think it's so, so fantastic. So this is by Viktor and Rolf Flowerbomb Nectar. All right, up next, if you're looking for a spicy white floral scent for fall and winter, I've got you covered. This is by Givenchy and this is L'Interdit. And this is just absolutely fantastic. I love this one. I love the spiciness of this fragrance. So the opening, you have ginger and blood orange, which I think is fantastic. Definitely pick up those notes. It says it has chili leaf in here, which I think, or pimento leaf, something like that, some sort of spiciness to the opening of this that definitely gives it a kick that screams fall winter to me. Plus I love the color of this bottle. This is one of my favorite colors. This blood red color is just so fall, isn't it? And yeah, it's just very warm. The white florals in here, there's tuberose and jasmine. Definitely pick that up. And I love both of those. The tuberose and jasmine are just fantastic in here. And then in the base, you have sandalwood. Definitely pick that up. Patchouli, but it's a warm, clean patchouli, not an earthy, dirty patchouli. This is so, so good. You know what? I haven't worn this one in a hot minute. I really want to wear this one. Oh, this is fantastic. Yes, I love this fragrance. Super, super good performance. Definitely strong enough to cut through the cold. If you love spicy white floral fragrances and you want something that's going to just cut through the cold weather and be a compliment magnet. If you like tuberose and jasmine, you definitely need to give this one a try. It is fantastic. All right, this next fragrance is a rose and oud fragrance, which is definitely not my normal scent profile, but this fragrance actually is so smooth and the blend is so good that it doesn't smell skanky. It doesn't smell, sometimes oud is really, really difficult for me, but the oud in here is fantastic. However, I made the mistake of trying this fragrance in hot weather and it made me kind of sick to my stomach because it is so rich. I mean, it is opulent for sure. This is by Tomavicci Opulentia Oud, which is definitely a proper name for this fragrance. And this, look at this bottle. Is this not stunning? Oh, I love that ombre effect in the bottle. It just looks so pretty. But how the bottle looks up here is how it smells. It's just rich, it's opulent, it's dense, it's thick. It is definitely meant for cold weather. So I waited until the weather got a little cooler and tried it again, and that's when I realized that this was an amazing fragrance. This smells so good. If you love rose fragrances, you need to get your nose on this. And the oud is there, but it is very well blended and is not skanky or barnyardy. It doesn't smell like rubbing alcohol. None of that stuff that I get from some oud. It's just smooth. You know, it's a smooth oud fragrance. It's very light. It's diet oud. It's a baby oud for us baby oud beginner people who are just branching out into oud and trying to get into it. I can handle this oud for sure. This smells super, super good. And there's saffron in here as well. Definitely pick that up. There's some nutmeg. I love that in the fragrance. There is raspberry in here, which is just what I needed. I needed a little bit of a fruity touch to this fragrance, a little sweetness to the fragrance for sure. I really like that raspberry touch in here. There's two kinds of rose. There's Bulgarian rose and damask rose. I definitely picked that up in here. It is very rose forward for sure. So you obviously have to be a fan of rose. But then there's also jasmine and orange blossom and I believe some iris in here as well. And there's a lot of amber. So it is very warm, very, very warm. Definitely strong enough to cut through the cold. And it's so good. It's so good. If this is your scent profile, I highly recommend getting your nose on it. It smells super, super luxurious and very beautiful. So that is by Tomavicci Opulentia Oud. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. Those are the fragrances I'm the most excited to wear that are non-gourmand, that are mostly floral, and that will be strong enough to cut through the cold and are meant for more cold weather, at least in my opinion. And I want to hear from you. Let me know what you think of these fragrances. Have you tried them? Do you like them? Do you love them? Do you hate them? And do you have any suggestions for me on floral fragrances you think are better suited for cold weather? I love to get suggestions from you guys. If you did like this video and you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I hope everybody is having an amazing day, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye.